I know my chance with her is blown, cause my mouth gets carried away. I'm tongue-tied, 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 I get tongue-tied.
The first lesson that I learned from being a simp is that if you, gentlemen, if you don't view yourself as the prize, women will not want you. Now, there's this debate in society today about whether women are the prize in dating or whether men are the prize in dating. And to that, I say this. Here's the hardcore reality. Women, as a general rule, are usually trying to go for, I'd say high value men, but I don't want to mean that in the sense of like you got to have a lot of money, you got to have a lot of status. That's not what I'm talking about. But women want a guy who, in their eyes, is a guy that has some kind of value and is somebody that potentially every other woman out there wants and is somewhat hard to get. In order to be hard to get, you have to be a guy that is so self-assured of himself that you're not going to just take any woman that comes to you. You have to be selective. So by default, if you are a guy that is acting selective, then you are going to be seen as the prize by women. Women typically want to date guys that they think are better than them. That's why they're looking for men to be leaders. She can't be led by somebody that thinks is less of himself or is below her. And so when I was in my sipping days, I didn't quite get this. But what I started to recognize was that this whole thing about if you're a shy guy, if you're an anxious guy, if you're a guy that gets nervous around women, all that energy that you're throwing out there is telling women that you do not view yourself as the prize, that if you're nervous and anxious, that you don't have the confidence to know what to do with the woman, and that therefore you also cannot lead her, because if she's following your lead and you're anxious and you're seeing yourself as beneath her, it is now a dangerous position for her to be in, because she wants somebody that's going to lead her to safety, lead her to make the right decisions in life about things, lead her to be able to have good counsel. And if you're of the viewpoint that she's actually better than you and that she has higher value than you, then she can't come to you and feel safe around you to want to date you. And I did this many times in my college days where I would just be all nervous and anxious around women, or I would do the thing like that you probably do at parties where you see a hot girl and you like kind of stand next to her and you hope that by standing next to her, she's going to make the first move. None of these things make her view you as the prize. They make her recognize that you're putting her on a pedestal, and therefore you're not hard to work for, and therefore she's not going to want you, okay? So this is why it's important to really work on how you view yourself. It's important to work on how you talk to yourself. And a lot of times our brains are giving us a lot of negative talk. So you could be subconsciously sabotaging your chances with women simply because you're saying things like, oh, I'm not worthy. Well, I'm not a 10. Why would this woman date me? She's in a different league than I am. She's so out of my league, I can't get her. All that does is put you lesser and lesser on the chain to where women are going to be able to feel from your energy that you don't see that you have value, and therefore you are not a prize to be won. So work on that. Work on the psychology. Work if you have to go to a therapist, if you have to start doing daily exercises where you talk to yourself positively. But the more self-assured of yourself that you are, the better chance you have of women seeing you as the prize and wanting to be around you long term.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm. Oh, yeah.